Hello, hello everyone. I am trying to find myself, but I'm struggling. Oh, there we are. Apparently I just needed to say it out loud, and then there it is. All right. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Sharon. How are y'all? How are y'all? Okay, so I have one announcement, and that is the winner from last week is Linda. So I will get this in the mail to you. I have your address, Linda. The prize for this week, hello, Lori, are these two items. It's actually going to go together. It is basic pearl jewels, or the pearl basic jewels. These are retired, but I think I have a ton of them. I've got that, and of course that's a full pack. And then I've got the just retired braided linen trim, which this is Calypso Coral, and I love this type of ribbon. This is actually one of my favorite types of ribbons. So if you comment and you share and then you give me a thumbs up, that gets you in for the drawing for this for next week. So that is there. Tonight we are going to be using the Trusty tools, but most importantly, we're going to be using mainly the paper. We're going to really not even do stamping from here other than the sentiment, because what I want to show is the paper, which is free with a $50 purchase right now with Stampin' Up. So I want to make sure that y'all get the full effect of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put y'all down on the table, and I'm going to grab really quick my paper that is sitting over on my desk, because of course this is like the most important part of the whole class tonight, is that you've got to see this. Of course you can see mine's all chopped up and different things, but there's lots of really cool patterns, very masculine. Yes, the other thing too is, I'll show you a better piece of that. You've got the cork board, and then you've got a ruler, and we're still going to find some better pieces to all these. This is like a toolkit piece. Hold on, let's just move past all these. I think I've got one full sheet of everything left. All right, so this one's not a full sheet, but you've got lots of different tools on there. And honestly, I hadn't even noticed the measuring. And then that's the back side. This is actually going to be a card that I'm going to go ahead and show you. This card right here, this is going to be on my blog. Not my blog, my email list later this week. So I'm going to have the measurements and basically like a little quick tutorial for you on this. It's a simple and easy card, but if you are not on my email list, you can message me and I will get you added so that you can get that. I think it's scheduled for Thursday, but it may be Friday. So anyway, but that is the paper in the background, is this one. All right, and then you've got this one, which is different. It's different types of tools than the first piece. And that's what your back looks like. I love this. This is like a sketch pad. And I took a interior designing class when I was in high school, and I loved it. And this was the type of paper we used for that, which of course a lot of your builders that work with wood and stuff use that as well. All right, and then you've got this, which has a bunch of screwdrivers on it. And then on this side, it's a very plain, we're going to be using this pattern tonight. And then we're using this pattern twice tonight, actually. So it's just a bunch of crisscrossed hammers. And then you've got your nuts and your bolts on the back. And then this is like one of the, what I call the Husky toolboxes, but it's the big toolboxes. You know, I know there's different kind of brands, but this one is like your toolbox. And then that's on the other side. So you've got screws and just screws, different types of screws on there. Nope, there are some bolts on there as well. So, All right, and then that's the same piece. And then you've got your measuring stick, of course, because that is always important when you are working with building something. And then that's got the cork board on the back. And then that, I believe, is it. Yep, that is it. So lots of fun patterns, some really great paper. So we are going to focus on that tonight. I do have a blog post up so that you can get the measurements and the products that are used. So make sure you check that out. And we will get started. We're going to start with the more complicated card. It does, Sharon. It absolutely does. This is probably our most complicated card for tonight, but it's not too terrible. Again, we're focusing on the paper, but you can stamp these. There are stamps in the catalog for the measuring tape, and then, well, and that's it. So you could change, and we are stamping back here with the screws and the bolt. So, anyway, but we will get started. I did fussy cut some of this already out, so you don't have to watch me do that. I also cut out some of the pieces too, so you wouldn't have to watch me do all of those things. All right, so let's start by folding our card base in half on this one. And this is gray granite, which I don't use gray granite very often. It's not, I typically will go for smoky slate, but these were cards that I did part of a training with a demonstrator that I take some training from, and so these were kind of part of all of that. And I would have probably done smoky slate, but gray granite is actually this color. So, all right, I got to find my adhesive. And I will tell you that some of the dies do work with the pieces. So like this one here does match up with the die, but we're going to fussy cut it just because I just want to show you, if you don't have the dies, how easy it is to do that as well. You can cut out all these images. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to stamp. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. We'll just stay away from the edge as much as possible. And we're gonna just go down. I think my basic gray needs to be re-inked again. Let's see. Let's do one more right about here, and then we'll stop. Okay. All right, so now the next thing we want to do is we're going to take the toolbox looking DSP or designer series paper, and we're going to adhere it to the front, just right along this edge here. We're going to turn it this way so that I can see because of my left-handedness. And then we're just going to run it along that edge. Make sure it's all lined up, and ta-da, simple and easy. We're gonna take a piece of the pecan pie cardstock, and all I did was run through this die right here. Now, this one, so I did like a whole sheet of the cork board, and so like a, you know, a whole long piece, like a half a piece of cardstock, so that I could have for multiple projects that I'm doing coming up. And so when I did that, of course, you've got one additional piece, but just know that you can always line up those pieces and run it back through so that you can continuously have, see, it'll line up just exact. And then you can keep doing it if you wanted to do like a larger piece on your card front. I hope that made sense. Sometimes I wonder if I make sense at all. Because this bottom or this center piece is really going to be covered up here, we're going to actually just run adhesive across there. Then we're going to take a couple of glue dots and just do our edges. And we're actually going to leave it like this and see if we can, you know what? We're going to do it a different way. We're going to grab our little trusty tool here, our little take your pick tool. We're going to pick these little glue dots up, and then we're going to put them right down. Maybe. There we go. And if they stretch out a little bit, that's perfectly fine, because then it just gives you more coverage. All right, let's come down to here to this one. But these glue dots fit perfectly in between our little holes on our pegboard. Oops. All right, there we go. And then we're going to adhere it at an angle. Let's turn it this way. All right. Then let's stamp our sentiment. And our sentiment is going to be stamped in the pecan pie, and the sentiment comes from the Charming Sentiments. And I'm going to stamp this a little further down and in the center. There we go. Apparently I need to re-ink my pecan pie too. I guess I've done a lot of stamping recently. All right, we're going to grab my little cutter here. We're going to line this up, and then we're going to chop it off. Make sure I got it even there. All right, I need to do a little bit more than that. Well, let's see. Make sure I get it even. I think that'll work. And then we're going to chop off a little bit of each side here. I wasn't sure exactly how much I was going to need, so we'll do those. And then we're going to flag the ends just to give it a little bit more pizzazz. So when you flag an end, you're just going to cut straight up the center, just like that, and you want to go in. I'm not big on really deep banners, so I just do a little line right at the center, and then I come from the edge, the corner, and right up to that center cut line, and then I do it again on the other side, which you can probably see it a little better when I do it on this side. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that on this side. And even sometimes if you don't get it just right, you cut up a little higher, it won't matter at all. All right, I'm going to fix this just really quick. It looks like it needs to go a little further. And I know I'm being picky on it. Okay, there we go. I like that. It was a little off center too much. Okay, so then we're going to take our little tape measure, DSP, and we're going to run some adhesive, and we're going to stick it straight across here. Let's do it about here. Okay. Then we're going to kind of act like we've got our sentiment here, and it's going to go up just slightly above that edge. And I cut out the saw blade. Now, the saw blade was on the edge of the paper, but I don't want to waste any of the images. So these are perfect to stick up underneath, and then nobody will ever know that it was not a full saw blade, okay? So we know we're going to put it right about here. So I'm going to flip it over, put some adhesive on it. I'm just going to put that back on there for just a minute. And then we're going to adhere that saw blade down. Okay. Now the next thing is I've got my drill, and the drill I cut out for the sample was on the edge as well, so I lined it up directly there. This one's going to be a little different because it is coming from the other end. So we're going to change up just a little bit where we're at, and before we do that, we can go ahead and adhere our sentiment, and we're just going to adhere it with some dimensionals. I probably don't need that many. I'm used to grabbing a whole bunch of them at one time. All right. All right, so then we're going to adhere this right about here, like that. And then this can go up. We're going to actually put it up over, and then we'll just trim off that edge of it because I think that will work. I think that will look good. So let's take a dimensional and put it here. Let's figure out where else we need it. Right there. And then we will need it on the bottom. And let's see where else. And we'll do it right here on that edge there too. But I think that should be fine. Okay. Let's do an edge piece. Sometimes you gotta do some configuring and adjusting. So we're gonna just put that right there. And we're gonna put a little bit of adhesive right down that. We'll take these off. You could always put the drill on first and then do the saw blade afterwards if you wanted the saw blade to be the main part that you see. All right, we'll stick that right about there. Okay, and then we're gonna flip it over and we'll just trim off this little edge here. Yes, Nancy, yes, this is perfect for some min cards, but you know what? There are a lot of women out there too that like tools. You know, back before I found crafting, I was actually one of those girls that really loved tools, and I used to have a boss that for Christmas, that's what he would give me for Christmas every year, was a new tool. And I loved it. It was amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and fussy cut out our measuring tape here. And again, if you do not have the set itself, you know, if you don't have the dies, then you can easily fussy cut these out. If I can do it as a left-handed person, if you're right-handed, you can definitely do it. And I'm getting a little close. I would suggest the easiest way is to have a little bit more paper than I have here. But I was trying to cut it out of the paper so I didn't have to have the whole big thing in my little packet. All right, so now we got that. And I probably did use the cut and emboss machine to cut out the sample one, but all right, so now we've got this one, and because we've got our drill over there, let's just stick our measure down here, and we'll put it a little further this way. I don't want to cover up the paper, so we'll just stick it a little bit further down. So we'll grab one little straight line. I think that's actually going to be too large. So let's do this. We're going to cut one of those in half and stick that right there, so that will stay up. And then we'll grab 3 dimensionals here. And then we will stick, oh, wrong card. Then we'll stick this right here. Let's go out a little further. Right there. Now, last but not least, we need to do our inside piece. So we are going to put those nuts and bolts right on the corner of this one. We'll stamp it a few times like that. And then, oh, you know, Nancy, I didn't see the second part of your thing, and a scrapbook. Yeah, that would, you know, well, I think this paper would be great for a scrapbook for a guy, or, you know, like your son, or those kind of things. It would make a great, well, even for those girls. Again, the girls, the girls too. Although we're not making a frilly card by any means today. They are all very masculine, which, you know, is time to do that too, because we all need, you could change up your sentiments and have a bunch of happy birthday masculine cards made up. So, all right, there we go. There is card number 1. All right, I'm going to put those there, move in my basket, and let's do our second card. All right, so this is going to be card number 2. And that's going to have, it has 2 different designs of the DSP again on it as well. All right, so we have one of my favorite cardstock colors, Lost Lagoon. Okay, and then we're going to take that sketch paper, sketch grid paper, I guess is what they call it. And we will attach that directly to our front. And look, there's the, those tools. Makes me want to cry covering them up. Oh, going to waste. Ah, it'll be all right. Okay, next I cut out with our basic border dies. The zigzag here, the stitch zigzag, you can cut it twice, and then you can create this piece here. So that is what I have done. So we're going to just adhere. And of course, I did not do a straight line. So we're going to go through and fold over the adhesive. It might be easier to use liquid glue with this, but y'all know my whole love-hate scenario with it. So we'll just use my finger to fold it all over. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to start at the top, and we're going to go down like that, and then we'll trim off this little bit of edge here. And then I've already cut out using the stylish shapes, and I used the largest one, the large stitch circle there. And we're going to adhere that kind of here in the center of the card. You could even use the other side for this one if you wanted to. I think that would be a good color combination as well. All right. We're going to do our sentiment. We're going to stamp it in Lost Lagoon, and it's going to say thank you. Oh, Nancy, I thought you were still doing a little bit of scrapbooking, so no more scrapbooking. It has been a long time since I have scrapbooked as well. It has been a long time. Long. I used to do it a lot. I used to do a lot of my nieces and stuff, but I've gotten away from it completely. So I use the memories and more card packs to make more cards that are in Stampin' Up! Catalog. All right, I'm going to grab my little cutter again. We're going to trim off the edge. But no, I don't do it much anymore either. I don't know a lot of people who do the scrapbooking part anymore. There are a few at some crops that I go to, but Not as many as there used to be. That is for sure. All right. Oh, and for those of you who are in South Carolina or close to Columbia, South Carolina, or are willing to make the drive to South Carolina, the Jamil Temple scrap, what is it? Stamp scrap tour. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Kathy Goldie, if you're still on here, I think you'll probably know. That is coming. I actually got an email on it about a week ago, and Linda told me that I needed to make sure that I saw it, that they were, had sent out their email and stuff, and so I got registered for that. And they have a make and take class on Friday nights. Stamps. Yep. Thank you, Kathy. They have a make and take night on Friday night that you can go to, and then you can go and shop all the different, craft supplies. There's a lot of different crafters that are companies that are there. So if you are anywhere around the Columbia area, you should totally come and check it out. We have so much fun, and we all kind of sit together and have a good laugh and go from table to table together. I think they probably see us coming from a mile away. Stamp scrap art. There you go. Thank you, Kathy. They see us coming from a mile away, I'm sure. But we have a good time. So if you're in the area, y'all should totally come. Okay, so all I did was I took the twine and I just wrapped it around in circles. And then I'm just going to adhere it to the back like this. And so I just put a little adhesive on each side. Now I'm going to put dimensionals around the twine itself. So one there in that center, and then one on that end. And then we will, yes, they did, Nancy. Yes, they did. All right, we will stick that one right there. Okay, now y'all get to watch me cut out this piece right here. And I did leave this one because I had this whole thing here. So I left this on a little bit bigger of a piece so that my fingers can hold it. Alrighty, so we'll go up. And a good thing about the tools too is that the coloring for them are off just a little bit. So, and it's on purpose. It's to be more abstract. So don't think that that's a mistake. That is on purpose. But the great thing about that is that when you do fussy cut out any of these items, it's not going to matter. You're not going to really see any of the mistakes that we all make fussy cutting because of that abstract. So it makes it really good. They absolutely have done a fantastic job on this paper. You know what? I have to say, on all the celebration papers, they've done a really good job. Really, really good job. All right. I'll come back and do that little piece in just a second. For those of you who don't like to fussy cut, or as my team member Michelle says, fussy cussing, it is definitely an art that you obtain, but the best thing is to use smaller scissors and move the paper, not the scissors. Sometimes I'm bad about that. Sometimes I move the scissors instead of the paper. All right, so we got that. So now I just need to trim out this little part here. And honestly, I'm just moving the paper so that it's not straight, but it doesn't need to be completely perfect. Just make a little bit of hills and then you can't tell. All right, and we'll trim this little edge off there. Now we are going to take the edge of our dimensionals and we're going to put them on our handles here. We'll put one there and one there. Let's see, I might need a little one down there and a little one down here. All right, so let's put another one here and another one right here, just to be on the safe side. And then we're gonna take one dimensional, we're gonna stick it there. And then we're gonna cut these here and get like a straight line. This one will fit up here. Let me move it this way. There we go. And then we just want a little one right here that I just cut. And we want that on the little mouthpiece as well. We want that one to go right about here. All right, now we'll take all the backings off. Oh, Nancy, I know it's in February, and hold on, I think I've drawn a blank. I want to say it's like the 19th, but it's the whole weekend. So the whole weekend will be, you can go. All right, so we'll stick that right there. But it might be the 17th, 18th, 19th. Hold on, and I'll tell you in a minute. Actually, let me do this. I can go to my email real quick. It is, because I got my confirmation order. It is the 17th and 18th, and then, so that must mean that the make and take is on the 16th. Hold on, I'm gonna go check out their Facebook page. I mean their website. Let's see, Jamil Temple. Quick view. Yes, so the actual Stamp Scrap Art Tour is the 17th and the 18th. And then the make and take is on the 16th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And that is $35. So it's actually not a bad price for all the cards that you make. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Okay, so we're not going to stamp anything on the inside of this one. So we're just going to take our, hold on, I got to make myself big again. There we go. Oh, did you, Linda? Sweet. Mine, it said it mailed, so hopefully they'll be in this week, because I did it, I think it was the day after you texted me to tell me that they were coming. So, and I went in and I had an email that I had never seen. Oh, you're going to be in the mountains that week. Oh, bummer. Bummer, Nancy. All right, so there is card number 2. And I didn't put a bow on it, so it makes it, you know, a little masculine. If you don't want the ribbon, you can always take the ribbon off as well. Okay, so last card is this one right here. I did put a bow on it. Again, you can take the bow off. You can take it off. And we have our packet. All right, I'm going to tell you something funny. So I took a picture of my before and after, or I took a picture of my before going live, and it was beautiful and clean and organized. And y'all, I was going to take a after picture, but I do not have a mess tonight. And I don't know why. Apparently my brain knows that I was going to take a picture of after, and it literally is like a clean, it is so much cleaner than it normally is. Goodness gracious. So there went my post for tomorrow, right? I'm going to have to start over somewhere else. All right, I got a card base. Our inside, I'm going to set it aside. We've got some Poppy Parade here, and then we've got some crushed curry here. Now, I need to stamp our hammer. That is actually one that we are doing. We're going to stamp, that's the only image we stamp from the stamp set image, like tool image. All right. And I'll use this one. I forgot to grab a thing for it. Okay, So then we're going to go with some crushed curry. We're just going to ink it up, and then we're just going to stamp all over our page here. You don't want them to all be going in the same direction either. Let's do, and then we'll do our hammer right there, like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna fill in some of the spots here, just with a little bit of extra. Let's do there. All right, and I am good with that. And then we're gonna stamp our sentiment in Poppy Parade. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Sharon was asking you. Yeah, Sharon, unfortunately, Nancy is no longer on Facebook. She kept getting, like, spoofed, so it kept, like, copying her. Which I feel you on that one. It is a constant struggle with Facebook sometimes. We love it, but then we hate it all at the same time, right? All right, so then we're going to stamp our sentiment in Poppy Parade. And we're going to stamp it a little further to the right, just because we want to make sure that our hammer goes on the side there. So there we go. We'll close this up so we don't get red everywhere. Yes, yes it is, Sharon. That it is. All right, so we're going to attach this piece then to our Poppy Parade. I'm going to move that out of the way. And we're going to attach it here. Okay, and then let's take our card front here, our card base, and we're going to take the hammer paper, and we're going to attach it to the front, just like this. I have had definitely a horror story with Facebook myself. I almost just got off like Nancy. All of it, I was done. Okay, let's pop this up on there with some dimensionals. And 1, 2, 3. All right, one more. And we'll stick this in the center of our card front on that designer series paper. Like that. This is going to go flat, but it is going to kind of hang off there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an edge piece. And I'm going to attach it. Let's see where I want this to go. Right there. So we're going to put it right here, and then we're going to put adhesive all the way across here. Take that top off, and then we're going to lay it right there. So now that's not going to get crushed down, although it might help if I get it straight. And there we go. Now I have cut out some letters using our new mini alphabet set right here. This is really good die. It is a little on the complicated side because they're all together, but just think about it that if you cut out one whole sheet, then you've got all the letters in that color. So, or you could also cut your strips at 1, and that will allow you to just get that one line of stuff. So and I put adhesive sheets on the back, but I went ahead and cut out the word dad. And we're going to stick this here. And then we'll do here. Yep, get that straight. There we go. And then one more. Right there. Now let's cut out our hammer. No, I didn't mean to do that. I was going up the wrong way. I was going to trim off that other part. But let's do it this way. A lot of good straight lines when you have tools, which is nice. And then around the corner. This reminds me like an old school hammer, not like the newer ones. That actually used to all be wood. It used to be wood all the way up and then just had the head as the metal. So, all right, and then we're gonna go down, do the little hump. And let me save that. We do not want to get rid of that. And then let's trim off this. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna pop this up. So we want to do dimensionals, and we're gonna do some of our outlines here. And let's do some smaller pieces now. All right. That's what I love about dimensionals, is having all the options to make them different sizes. All right, and then we're gonna do that one. And then let's do this. And then we want to do a little one right here. Okay. And then this is going to go over that edge right here. Like that. And I still have this crooked, which is probably going to make my dad crooked. Let's see. There we go. All right. And then this is going to go up like that. And last but not least, let's take that same twine we used on the last card, and we're going to tie a little bow. Again, you can leave the bow off if you don't want it to do for a masculine card. That's completely fine. We'll grab a glue dot. And we'll stick it right there. And let's take our hammer that we stamped in crushed curry. And we're gonna stamp it. Let me grab my grid paper. We're gonna stamp it once like this, and then we're gonna stamp it like that. Get some angling going on there. All right, and then let's attach to the inside of our card. And then we have created 3 cards in less than 45 minutes. That's the great thing about doing some of these training cards that I have, they're very simple and very easy because they are helping you to like reproduce classes is really what it is. And you try to do easier things sometimes, but using the same paper and just the same products really makes it simple to create a whole bunch of cards. So, and I'm like crooked, I believe. So sorry about that. All right. And again, if you are on my email list, you will be getting the, not make and take, what am I looking for? The measurements and all of the information in regards to this card. I will be sending that out. This host code here is my current host code. You can purchase from my online store. If you spend $50 before tax and shipping, I will send you all 3 of these make and takes. If you spend $75 or more, then I will also include the make and take packet for this card right here. So you would get a total of 4. You do have to use the host code if it's under $150, but if it's $150 or above, make sure you don't use that and you get your own host rewards. So I hope you guys have a great evening, a great rest of your week, and be on the lookout for that email. If you don't subscribe to my email, make sure that you email me and I will get you put on that so that you can get this card information for free. All right, everyone, have a great night and I'll talk to you later. Bye.